let's see now. Is this thing working? Well, I've never really done this before, so I'm just making sure that this is working and all. Alright. Let's check. Real fast. Okay. Yeah, it's working. Sweet. Alright, well, welcome to my playthrough of Mass Effect 2. So I'm starting this mostly because Mass Effect Andromeda is coming out and I'm getting really hyped for that game, so this is a way for me to just kind of channel my hype, I guess. So I'm going to be playing a new game. Normally I play an almost entirely Paragon run-through, but I'm going to try to mix it up, add a little bit of Renegade. We'll see how that works, alright? Let's get started. I'm going to do a male character. I don't have a Mass Effect 1 playthrough on my computer right now, but I do have Genesis, which means I can set everything as it was in my Mass Effect 1 game. So yeah, hello, elephants are tasty. Gee, thanks. Another thing to take note is I really don't care if you guys trash me in the comments. That's never really affected me. I'm going to be playing on Veteran with auto leveling off. I'll keep the subtitles on for everyone's sake. Everything else looks about good. Alright. I don't know who Mike Senpai is. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself. I'm DJ Archangel. You guys can call me DJ if you want. Don't really care about that. Alright, so the game's starting. Alright, so here it starts. Standard intro
Shepard
to a
did
game.
everything right. More than we could have hoped for.
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
And still, it's not enough.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
So,
But they're sending him to fight
this game's
Geth.
been out for quite a while,
Geth.
so most of the people watching
We both
this, you
know
guys
they're
have
not the real
probably
threat.
seen
The
the game
Reapers
or
are
played
still
the game
out there.
before. If not,
And it's up to
that's
us to
fine
stop
too. I'm
them.
gonna try my best not to spoil too much
The
of
Council
it,
will never
but,
trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our
I'm
help.
going to end up
Even
talking
after
over some
everything
of the
humanity
dialogue
has
from time to
accomplished.
time, such as this.
But Shepard,
But
they'll follow him.
so let's
He's a
see.
hero,
I've got a little bit of the
bloody
DLC,
icon.
not too much of it.
But he's
I don't
just
have
one
one
man.
Shadow Broker,
If we
for
lose
example.
Shepard, humanity
Kinda
might well
disappointing,
follow.
but that's beside the point. I'm
Then
going
see
to be
to it
doing
that
all
we
of the
don't
loyalty
lose.
missions, and I'm going to do my very best to save the entire party in the suicide mission at the end. We'll see how that works. I'm hoping it does. Okay, hey everybody. Hi. Yeah, hi people. I'm guessing Quantum Particle is my buddy the Schrodinger's cat.
Disengaging FTL drives. Emission sinks active.
Hey Donovan. Hey Will.
Board is green. We are running
Hi
silent.
Sonny.
We're wasting our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month.
Frank,
Something happened to them.
you're sure that's
My
not
money's
you?
on slavers. The Terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner. Unidentified vessel. Looks like a cruiser.
Doesn't match any known signatures.
I'm not going to be skipping
Cruiser
through
is
any
changing
of these
course.
because
Now
these,
on intercept trajectory.
Can't be.
no
Stealth
thanks.
systems are engaged. There's no way a Geth ship could possibly...
It's not the Geth. Brace for evasive maneuvers!
Because, well, so, yeah, I'm not going to be skipping any of the dialogue. Thanks for that, by the way. I really appreciate that. I'm not going to be skipping any of the cutscenes because the story.
Multiple hull breaches! Weapons offline! Somebody get that fire out!
So, I mean, you guys who know me know that, like, I don't use prompts when it's not necessary.
Shepard!
Distress
So
beacon is
if I
ready
get
for
quiet
launch.
from time to time,
Will
I'm
the
sorry.
Alliance get here in time?
The Alliance won't abandon us. We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttle.
Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't evacuate. I'm not leaving either.
I need you to get the crew onto the evac shuttles. I'll take care of Joker.
Shepard,
Liara, go. Now.
aye aye.
So, for those of you who don't know
Everybody in!
from the
Go,
first
go,
game,
go!
so this is Mass Effect 6. I'm sorry, what are you saying? Death Star for days? Not quite sure what you mean by that. Thanks for the help, Will. Game volume's too loud? Alright, let me see what I can do about that. Is that better? Alright, my mic is all the way up. I'm just going to turn down the sound for the game a little bit.
We've suffered heavy damage from an unknown enemy. Come on, baby, hold together. Hold together.
Alright. Yeah, so ship's been blown up. That's not good. So the Normandy is actually one of my favorite sci-fi ships of pretty much anything. Beating out most of Star Wars too, which surprised me as well, but like, in my opinion, it's one of the best ships.
We have to get out of here.
No, I won't abandon the Normandy. I can still save her.
The Normandy's lost. Going down with the ship won't change that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Help me out.
Sad moment. Rest in peace, Normandy SR1. Is the audio from the game still too loud, or is it better now?
Watch the arm.
Help me out, guys. Chat. Yeah, the mic is all the way up, so I'm going to try to make it a little bit lower. Let me see if I can reduce the game volume a little bit more. Is that better? Or is it still too low? Right, so we just watched me die. Game over, guys. Just kidding. No, it isn't. That'd be a very poor game if that was the entirety of it. It's just the intro. Surprise! Alright, so this is Mass Effect Genesis. This will be a way for me to make all the decisions I did make in my Mass Effect
Just
game.
another routine mission. Why do they always
So that'll be the most useful part of this. Actually, kind of important because the choices in each of the Mass Effect games,
the paths you choose, that turn the routine into anything but.
well,
Of course,
they kind of affect
that's
what
how it
happens in
started.
all of
A
the
routine mission,
following games.
answering a distress call. Look where that got me. We were testing out the Normandy, Captain Anderson's new ship, when the distress call came in. An Alliance patrol on Eden Prime had been attacked. They'd seen something they couldn't explain. And whatever it was massive. I hit the ground with my lieutenant, Kate Nolenko. A good kid, loyal, by the book, with a talent for biotics. We came across the lone survivor of the patrol.
Is it still too loud, or can you hear my voice now?
Tough,
Better, at least.
ready to take on whatever came her way. Ashley joined up with us and took us to the spot where she lost her squad. That's when we saw it. The ship. Like nothing I'd ever seen. It was massive, scorching the colony and everything around it as it blasted away. We followed the path of destruction to an artifact, a beacon left by a long-dead race called the Protheans. The colony had dug it up, and whoever attacked them had tried to take it. Chief Williams made the mistake of getting too close. It hit her with some type of
Yeah, I hadn't considered that.
grabbed her and threw her out of the way.
Well, I mean,
That's when it hit me. Hard. Every muscle in my body went rigid.
that's kind of minor, I guess.
Could barely
Not a
breathe.
super big deal.
Everything went black. And then I saw something. A vision.
What are those faces?
A nightmare.
Who are they supposed to be?
By the time I woke up, we were halfway to the Citadel on our way to meet the Council.
I mean, I got
I was
that
expecting to
much, but
explain what I'd seen.
am I supposed to recognize them?
So did Adina. Our
Yeah,
political
so if you guys
boss.
can't tell, I'm completely new to the idea of streaming or recording
The ship we'd
games.
seen was a potential threat, as was the individual behind the attacks.
But, I mean, I've seen a lot of people do it. Good number of my friends have done it, and it seemed like something worth trying.
Survivors from the colony at Eden Prime, and there was some evidence to suggest that the ship was connected to Sarah. But even Adina's pointed accusations weren't enough to convince the Council. They just couldn't believe one of their chosen elite specters could be guilty of something like that. They needed proof, which meant I needed proof.
This is just a quick blow through of what happened in the first game, like I said earlier.
I wasn't alone in my search. Garrus, another Turian, wanted to help. A top agent for Citadel Security. Despite orders from his superiors that he shouldn't get involved, he told me he was suspicious of Sarah, and he had some useful leads. More
Garrus
importantly,
is really freaking
he was
cool.
willing to share them. That led me to Rex, the biggest, nastiest looking Krogan bounty hunter I'd ever seen. He turned out to be more than just a brute. It was his intel that led to a fugitive with incriminating evidence on Sarah.
For you guys who have
Turned out to
played,
be an energetic little
Rex
warrior
will
named
survive.
Tal. A tech expert with
We
a
will
knack
see
for
Rex
hacking.
in Mass Effect 2,
She
don't worry.
procured some information on Sarah. Evidence that proved Saren was dirty.
And of course, Tali shows up again.
Tally's evidence proved that Saren was responsible for the massacre on Eden Prime, and that the immense warship we'd spotted was in fact Saren's flagship. But it went much further. Saren was trying to find a way to bring back a race of sentient machines from dark space. Machines allegedly responsible for cleansing the galaxy of all organic life. These Reapers were blamed for wiping out all life 50,000 years ago, including the Protheans, then disappearing.
I mean, if
back
you're
into
gonna
the
call a
dark
race of
space. Even though
life-destroying
traces of
robots
everything.
anything, you might as well call them
That explained why
Reapers,
Sarah
right?
was after the beacon, and it made some sense out of my visions, but not much else. We couldn't convince the Council that the Reapers were a threat, but they agreed Saren had to be stopped. They stripped him of his Spectre status and gave me the honor of becoming the first human Spectre. My first task? Bring down Saren. Anderson decided to stay behind, giving up his ship, the Normandy.
Ah,
Told
the
me I would
Normandy.
need more than he would. He also pointed me in a direction. Liara, a Prothean expert, adept in biotics, and maybe most importantly, daughter of Benezia, Saren's top lieutenant. And like most Asari, as beautiful as she is intelligent, and born with a unique ability to meld with other species. Liara was able to help me decipher some of the visions.
Yeah, so that's another big thing of this game is the whole romance slash the paramour achievement, however you want to explain it. I don't know who, if anyone, I'm going to do that whole romance thing with. I haven't decided on that yet. I don't need to really decide on that till later anyway.
Shared with Liara. As commander, I knew either relationship had the potential to interfere with the mission.
But in Mass Effect 1, I did not.
I decided discretion was the better part of valor, and kept my focus on our goal, finding Saren. Thanks to Liara's help, we had our next lead, Venezia. Saren had taken her to Novaria, where he'd
Thanks for the
enslaved
assist, game guy, boo.
insect-like creatures, arachnai.
Yeah,
He
it's
ordered Venezia to use the same technique
new to all this,
used
like
on
I
me
said,
to
so
protect
it's going to
information
take some time to
from
figure out.
The Queen's drones were everywhere, and they weren't having it. We had to fight through hundreds of them to get to Venezia. By the time we arrived, Saren was gone. With the information, I tried to reason with Venezia, but Saren had indoctrinated her. He had somehow acquired the ability to control people's actions and wills. Venezia wouldn't surrender.
You're welcome for that one, dude. Sweet. Appreciate it.
And I was left with an angry, dangerous Rachni queen to deal with. She claimed her drones would do no harm if I released her. But the Rachni had terrorized the galaxy before.
This one was a tough choice when I made it. I was honestly back and forth between them for a little while. But ultimately I went Paragon and I decided to save the Queen. Ramifications for Mass Effect 3 and 2? Who knows, right?
The Queen was true to her word. She left and took her army of drones with her. With Saren's top lieutenant dead, he was quickly running out of time and
I've
places
played
to
this
hide.
game a lot,
I tracked him
so
down at his base on Wehrmacht.
I kind of know what does and doesn't happen with most of the options
It was a
already.
breeding ground. Saren was breeding an army of Krogan. He'd found a cure for the genophage, a disease inflicted on the Krogan to prevent them from breeding and taking over the galaxy. But the Krogan Saren was breeding were slaves.
Genophage.
Mindless beasts that
Oh
obeyed
my god, the
Saren's will.
genophage. That thing
I
is
had to
freaking
destroy the base
brutal.
And all its research.
Every time I play
Rex
through,
disagreed.
I refuse to not cure the Krogans.
Rex
Because
wanted the genophage cure for his people. I
what
tried to
is
convince
the
him to help me destroy
genophage?
it, that these Krogan weren't
It's
rigged,
absurd. Like,
but he wouldn't back down.
why did they decide that the absolute removal of the ability of a species to breed was a necessary choice? It's stupid. Anyway, back to the game. I decided to save Rex here. Put a lot of work into saving Rex, let me tell you that, but I really wanted to, so he saved.
Fortunately, Rex is smarter than he looks. He realized this wasn't the way to help his people, and that Saren was the real threat. When we finally got to the center of the base, I realized just how close Saren was to completing his plan. He was already in communication with the Reapers. Sovereign, Saren's flagship we'd all assumed was just a ship, was a Reaper.
Yeah.
It
Talk
slowed
about
me.
game breaking.
I could feel the menace it had for every living thing. It wanted me dead. It wanted us all dead. And I knew it was capable of doing just that. What I couldn't understand was why Saren would help it. But there was no time to think about it. Sovereign knew where we were. We had to destroy the base and get the hell out. I split up my team in 2 squads, sending Ash with one and Caden with the other as a distraction. We had a nuke, and we planned to use it. Before we could
Nuclear
detonate the
weapons,
bomb,
the
Saren
ultimate
showed up.
solution to
We
everything.
fought. I stalled him to make time for my team. And in talking to him, I realized the truth. It wasn't Saren who was indoctrinating everyone. It was Sovereign. The Reaper. And Saren was in deeper than all of them. He tried to convince me he was still in control. Said he found a way to reduce the Reaper's influence, but he was kidding himself. Or believing the lies Sovereign was telling him.
I choose to believe the second one.
Before I could convince him to stop, he ran, leaving me just seconds to extract my squad mates. I tried, but I wasn't fast enough.
Alright.
I could only save one of them.
This is actually, in my opinion, one of, if not the hardest decisions in the entirety of Mass Effect. You have no choice. One of the two is going to die. I thought really hard about this one. And I went with Caden. Not because I didn't like Ashley, but because Caden had biotic powers. And, well, I was kind of thinking ahead to the third game and knowing that I'll need strong biotic tanks. So it was very much a decision based on the game. I went with Caden.
Ash was a good friend and a great soldier. But I had to choose, and I chose Caden. That was the last time Saren would slip away from me. I knew then, the next time we met, one of us would die. With my team mostly intact, we chased Saren and his army to Ilos, a long-lost planet that had once belonged to the Protheans. As we prepared for what we knew would be a desperate fight, I spoke to my crew. We were just one ship, against Saren's growing army. I assured them all that despite the odds, we could defeat him. I'd never tell anyone, but I had my doubts. Leaving Ashley behind had hardened my resolve, but revealed a soft spot in my defenses. How many more friends and allies would I be willing to sacrifice?
I am using the, well, here on Twitch, obviously, I'm using the OBS software for streaming and recording. Friend of mine recommended it. It's supposed to be pretty good. I'm gonna trust him on that, but let's see how it works for me, right?
The Protheans had fought and died. Like every species
Is the audio still doing good? I can't tell on my end. Is everything fine? Do I need to lower the sound on the game again?
By sabotaging the Citadel, they found a way to close the relays to dark space, slowing the Reaper's return, giving us the time we needed to find a solution to stop
It's
the Reapers
echoing.
once and for all.
Alright, let me see if I can fix that.
He was leading his...
Let me see if I can fix that. Let's get rid of... let's see, let's get rid of this. Alright, is that doing better now?
Fleets by surprise, and they were only now regrouping. And with Sovereign as his
Mute
flagship,
OBS.
there was little
Alright,
hope the fleets would
let me see if I do that.
counter-blast.
Alright, let's see, muting OBS. You got any tips on how to do that? Like I said, I'm new to all this. I'm just gonna let this scroll through.
The Reapers would save him.
Oh, it's better now? Alright, cool, thanks.
As I fought to regain control of the Citadel, the Council's flagship, the Destiny Ascension, fell under attack. Despite Saren's death, Sovereign and Saren's army continued to fight. The Council was aboard the Destiny Ascension, and they were requesting assistance. But I knew in order to help them, I would have to put our Human Alliance fleet in jeopardy.
Once again, another hard choice. And I thought about this one for a long time. I'm so happy this game doesn't have timers on the decisions. Volume mixer is right click on volume in your taskbar, drag down OBS. Alright, thanks for the help, Gaibu. I'll grab that in a second. I thought about this one for a really long time, and in the end I did save the Council for similar reasoning that will be given here in Genesis.
The Council had to be saved. They represented the hearts and minds of the galactic community. Without them, the fleets would be in disarray.
It was a better choice for the
Even with Citadel back
galaxy.
in my control, Saren defeated, and the Normandy leading the combined galactic fleet.
I mean, yeah, we lost a lot of human lives in that, which is
Relentless.
kind of like a big thing with it, is that a lot of your choices end up being between humanity and the galaxy as a whole. And it was tough, but ultimately I decided that the fate of the galaxy as a whole was more important than a single human
The
fleet.
Reapers were still out there. I knew the fight was far from over, but as the one who'd led the fight against Saren, I was given new responsibilities.
And then we had to
The
deal
choice
with
of humanity's
politics.
first council was left for me to
I
decide.
hate politics so
On the one
much.
hand, Adina, the lifetime politician. Ruthless and ambitious, he would easily navigate the political landmines that would soon be put in front of him. The other choice, Captain Anderson, the career soldier. Tough but fair, but a friend, and someone I could trust. Both great leaders in their own right.
Okay. This was an easy decision. Udina's an ass.
Anderson didn't want the job, which was a sure sign he'd be perfect for it. No ambition to get in the way. The war was over. The threat had passed. In time, the Council would rebuild itself. The Citadel could be repaired. Even the pain of lost friends would fade. But none of that mattered if the Reapers were still out there. And if they were all as powerful as Sovereign, we had to find a way to stop them. I had to find a way. I gathered my crew, took my ship, and went in search of answers. Officially, the Council would only say I was assigned to cleanup duty, rooting out any remnants of Saren's army. Just another routine mission.
Yeah, most of the Council, actually all of the Council, are jerks. But I mean, this game is very much about a gray zone rather than a good or bad.
Commander
Like,
Shepard has been recovered.
that's why it's called Paragon and Renegade rather than good and bad. Which is something I really appreciate about it, because ultimately you are a good character on the side of, like, saving the galaxy no matter what. And yeah, apparently this just works because plot. But yeah, so right here I'm being rebuilt, which gives me another chance to do all the character customization and all that character stuff. I'm just gonna kind of breeze through it. I'm not going to do anything with facial appearance or anything like that. That takes way too long and is honestly kind of boring. I'm just gonna take the default design for Shepard, but I'm going to be playing as an infiltrator class. Infiltrators are a kind of mix between the soldier and the engineer, which means that I'm going to be DJ Shark. I'm going to be using my DJ for this, although it doesn't even matter, you're called Shepard throughout the entire thing. But I'm going to do the custom mail, but mostly because I want to pick things, because if you can see down here, got Earthborn, Soul Survivor, Soldier, and as shown, I don't really want some of those options. Like, for example, I don't want to be a soldier, I want to be an infiltrator, which is pretty much the sniper class. So if you know anything about me, you know that I prefer the sniper rifle to anything else when it comes to these sorts of games. I'm going to be doing the default appearance. This one right here, easy enough, don't want to waste time on that. But here, Infiltrator, because that gives me access to the cryo bullets, which are my favorite because they freeze things, and that makes it easier to hit them if they don't move. Spacer background, that's the one that I picked in my previous game, so that's the one I'm going to pick here. With a war hero psych profile. And I have this, which is something new to me that I did not get before. I'm going to pick one of the ammos because I like to apply powers to my shots, which is always pretty cool. You know, this is probably due to the fact that I have another game running, my own personal game. I'm going to probably pick... Yeah, Space Engineers is quite a different game. I think I'm going to go with armor-piercing ammo because we see more armored enemies than we see biotically shielded enemies. So I'm going to go with that. And besides, I've got characters like Jack and Samara later who can take care of the biotic shields. I'm going with this. It'll be really nice to start off with armor-piercing ammo, especially... No, I've not played Space Engineers before. Don't know much about it. But yeah, so since I'm playing on veteran mode, I'll be dealing with armor much earlier in the game than before. So it's good that I'll have armor-piercing ammo from the very beginning.
Don't try to move. Just lie still. Try to stay
So
calm.
that is going to be the first of our, well, not going to be the first of our allies, but she's one of the first two. Miranda Lawson, she is, honestly, I'm not a fan of her. She's a bit of a bitch. I'm also not a big fan of Cerberus in general. So that's kind of a side effect of me knowing what Cerberus is and what they do. But that's beside the point. I won't be using Miranda much in the game. Better choices with far more utility as the time goes. Like, for example, I pick up Grunt very early in the game, depending on how I choose to go. I'll actually be getting a DLC character, Zaid. I'm going to grab him very fast. Going to replace Miranda with Zaid early on.
His pistol doesn't have a thermal clip.
Alright, let's take a look at the, so here's my armor piercing. This is my wheel down here where, so in these two corners right here, I'll have where my allies will be. This is the current weapon I'm using, and these are all of my extra things that I get. I am going to equip armor piercing ammo.
Someone's hacking security trying to kill you. Look for a thermal clip for your pistol.
There we go. 33 rounds. Door's locked. Yep. I'm going to reload, and that unlocks the door apparently.
Barricade to try holding the mechs off. Look out. Moving. We need to get to the shuttles. Shepard, security mechs are closing in on your position. Don't take any chances. Stay in cover while you take out those mechs.
I can't wait till I get my sniper rifle. Don't get up.
Nice work, Shepard.
Alright, I actually have full ammo, so there's no point in grabbing that. I'm so happy I don't have to fight that Ymir mech this early on.
Waste time. I can't keep the mechs distracted for long.
Oh, hey. I did not notice I have one follower. Thanks.
Maureen,
Grenade launcher.
use the grenade launcher to take them out.
And it's telling me to use buttons, but I have them all remapped, of course. Because having things mapped to where you want them is very important.
Elevator down 1 floor. Hurry, get to the door, run.
Okay, I definitely stormed through the fire, but that's beside the point. Let's see.
Head to the neighborhood on the front beam. Shepard,
Finally. Alright, we're moving on. So, within the next, I'm actually going to go in here because I want money and stuff. And these two need to die. There we go, done. Alright. This is all just, this is actually all going to be information about my, my restoring me. I just need to do this real fast. Alright. You can actually look and get a general idea of which ones are going to connect where, which is really useful. Jeez. Mind clicking, there we go. There, down there, just like that. This one's gonna go down here. And these two connect. Boom. Yep. Oh yeah, I have deleted, I have that marked in my thing where you cannot actually post links on my chat, mostly because I don't really want that, and that's pretty much the reasoning. So sorry, Game Guy Boo. That's unfortunate. And Jacob Taylor, we're going to meet our next ally. He's actually a Cerberus agent that I don't mind because he's not a total jerk. And he was ex-Alliance, so he has a general idea of how things work, which helps.
What are you doing here? Thought you were still a work in progress. I just woke up. You probably know more than I do.
Right, sorry about that. I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been stationed here for...
Hostiles detected.
Damn it!
Things must be
Nice
worse
shot.
than I thought if Miranda's got you running around. I'll fill you in, but we better get you to the shuttle first.
What's with the mech?
I'm going to playing this game naturally. Questions that I think Shepard would ask, and that sort of stuff.
Impossible, unless you've got access. Gotta get you out of here, Shepard.
It's your station, Jake. I'll follow you.
First step, let's finish off these metal bastards. We're low on thermal clips, but I'm a biotic. Just give the order when you want me to hit them with the good stuff.
And yeah, so Jacob's a biotic. Biotics are essentially like having the force or psychic powers or whatever you want to call it. And he missed. You want to use poles? There we go. Nice shot. Alright. There we go. Enemies dealt with.
Ready to get the hell off this station?
What's the quickest way to those shuttles?
Depends where the mechs are thickest. It's probably best if we...
Check. Anyone on this frequency? Anybody still alive out there? Hello?
Alright, Wilson. So he's a very short character. He's like,
Here with Commander Shepard.
he's a part of my team for
Still
maybe
got a
like
wave of mechs over in D-Wing.
5 minutes max, depending on how long it takes you to clear 2 rooms, I want to say.
Tunnels and head for the network control room.
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
Let's get
Yeah,
out of
we're
here.
gonna be
You bet.
moving on.
We can get into the service tunnels through this door.
Alright. Clip. There we go. So yeah, what's really nice is that my allies don't need to be reloaded.
The whole station is crawling with mechs. I'm doing the best I can.
Wilson, find us another route out of here. Preferably one...
Oh God, they found me. Help!
Wilson, where are you?
Server room B. Hurry! They're out of control.
Up those stairs, Shepard.
Oh God, I'm in.
Yeah, so Wilson is actually the scientist that was first, the medic that was actually working on me earlier in that very short discussion.
In a leg.
Yeah, so
We need to get off this station.
I'm not going anywhere until someone fixes my leg.
yeah, he's a bit of a jerk too.
Gel in the first aid station on the wall.
Like I said, not a big fan of
Hopefully there's
Cerberus.
enough to get him up and moving again.
Grab the Metagel from the first aid station on the wall.
This is all just a lot of the overview tutorial style things.
Thanks, Shepard. Never thought you'd save my life. Guess that makes us even now. I thought maybe I could shut down the security mechs, but whoever did this fried the whole system. Completely irreversible.
We didn't ask what you were doing. Why do you even have security mech clearance? You were in the bio wing.
Weren't you listening? I came here to try and fix this. Besides, I was shot. How do you explain that?
Well, I
You're
still
all
don't trust any of them.
strangers to me. Let's get someplace safe, then we'll sort out whose fault it is.
Right, Shepard.
That's a
Need to
fun
find
thing about
Miranda.
this game.
Can't leave
Those
behind.
burning marks
Forget about Miranda.
on the
She's over in
face,
D-Wing.
those
The
are
mechs were all over that sector.
those
There's no
kind of
way
didn't
she
like
survived.
change and
Bunch of
become
mechs
more
won't drop
burning
Miranda.
if I pick
She's
more
alive.
renegade options.
Then where is she? Why haven't we heard from her?
But I
There are
mean,
only 2 possible explanations.
there's a way
She's
to
either
actually
dead,
get
or
it.
she's a traitor.
There are ways that I can get it so those completely disappear. It's a lot of resources that I really don't feel like spending.
Haven't known her long enough to trust her.
This project was Miranda's baby. She'd never sabotage it.
Okay, maybe she's not a traitor.
That's true.
but
I'll
that
admit
doesn't
that.
change the facts. We're here, she's not. We need to save ourselves. The shuttle bay is only a few. We can overload
Right,
the
more.
canisters
Okay.
for the shuttles.
These mechs don't know when to quit.
Oh, right. I already have my tactical shield. Bonus.
Through those canisters.
Alright. Taken care of. And I feel like something's off about this. Overload. Ah. Right, I'm playing on veteran now. There we go. So Wilson's an engineer. Which makes total
Okay, we
sense.
took him down, but this is getting tense. Shepard, if I tell you
Of course
who we
there are
work
red barrel
for,
mechanics.
trust me,
This really isn't the time, Jacob.
we won't make it if he's expecting a shot.
It's a
in the back.
sci-fi
If you
game.
want to piss off the boss, it's your ass, Jacob.
The Lazarus Project, the program that rebuilt you. It's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
I wiped out my share of Cerberus projects when I was a Spectre. Back then, they were trying to kill me.
Spectres
Why
are
change
just
the
pretty
part?
much elite black ops,
Those
to put it
answers are way above my
very,
pay grade.
very
Basically, things
mildly.
changed. The Alliance declared you dead. They gave up. Cerberus spent a fortune to bring you back. Look, I'd be suspicious too, but right now we have to work together. I thought you deserved to know what's what.
And I
Once we're off the
appreciate that,
station,
Jacob.
I'll take you to the elusive man. He'll explain everything. I promise.
Well, if I won't get any more answers here, let's get moving.
It's not much farther to the shuttle bay.
I'm going to hack this data pad so I can get some money. Alright, boom. Easy. I mean, that's 900 is not a lot of credits, but I'll take anything.
They've seen us.
Yep. And tactical shield, invisibility. That should do. Yep. All right. I don't have any of my... I don't have a lot of the really nice powers. Overload is going to do a lot of damage over there. They're actually too far away for me to even technically target. Let's see. Going to go in here, I'm going to hack this data pad and get some more cash. Because that's very useful. If I have enough of it, I can just pretty much spend it inordinately later in the game when things actually cost money and I need probes and other sorts of things. Fuel, very important. Alright, we're just going to open this door. And cutscene.
Through here. We're almost at the...
Here's our introduction to
But you
Miranda.
were...
Dead?
What the hell are you doing?
My job. Wilson betrayed us all.
And, of course, my general response to this sort of thing.
Even if you're sure, did he deserve that welcome?
He sabotaged the security systems, killed my staff, and he would have killed us.
You sure about that, Miranda? We've known Wilson for years. What if you're wrong?
I'm never wrong. I thought you'd have learnt that by now, Jacob.
Incredibly arrogant. And I really don't appreciate that.
You should have taken him alive. See what he knew.
Too risky. I've put too much time and effort bringing you back to life to let you get killed now.
You really think Wilson's capable of that?
Yeah. But also, maybe. I don't
Not
actually know.
anymore.
If you say so. What's our next step?
We get on the shuttle and go. My boss wants to speak to you.
You mean
I'd-
the elusive man? I know you work for Cerberus.
Ah, Jacob. I should have known your conscience would
I
get the
really
better of
don't
you.
want to talk to the
Lying to
elusive
commander
man.
isn't the way to get him to join our cause.
Well, since
He's
we're getting
kind of a
everything
jerk.
out in the open, is there
Kind of a
anything
really
else you
big
want to
jerk.
ask before we go, Commander?
I actually know about all this stuff, so I'm not going to ask about any of it. But pretty much, I'm just going to ask what happened to the rest of the crew. All of the main characters that did survive the game survived into this one. In fact, we'll see all of them except Ashley, because Ashley is dead. Yeah, so Liara's on Ilium, Rex is on Tachanka, Caden will see on Horizon. He will not join our team, neither will Liara or Rex. Disappointed about Rex. But we get Grunt, and Grunt is an
I've had enough of this
incredible
station to last a
character.
Or two, in your case. Come on.
Who else do we have? We had Tali and Garrus, both of who get to join the team in this game. Liara, Rex, Tali, Garrus, Caden, and Ashley's the last one. Ashley dies.
Before you meet with the elusive man, we need to ask a few questions to evaluate your condition.
Come on, Miranda, more tests? Shepard took down those mechs without any trouble. That has to be good enough.
It's been 2 years since the attack. The elusive man needs to know that Shepard's personality and memories are intact. Ask the questions.
This is pretty much a get a feel, are you Paragon or are you Renegade? And I'm pretty sure they give you Paragon or Renegade points for how you answer these questions.
This is a waste of time. I feel as good as ever.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you were a spacer kid, raised mostly on one ship or another. You enlisted
I
in
like that
middle
one.
fighting Batarians during the Skillian Blitz. Do you remember that?
Those are the ones I like to choose, War Hero and Spacer.
A lot of lives depended on me holding that position. I did what I
Your
had to.
background doesn't actually
However you
affect
wanna play
anything
it,
in the
it's
game.
damn
It gives you
I had friends who were there.
a unique mission in the
Satisfied,
first game.
Miranda?
Almost. Let's try something more recent.
But once again, not really
Vermina, where you
important.
destroyed Saren's cloning facility. You had to leave one of your squad behind to die in the blast.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams was killed in action. It was your call. Why did you leave her behind?
And, well, yeah, it was honestly a hard choice. And it was not that or die for me personally. Because, once again, video game. But it was a
I
hard
left
choice.
a friend to die that day, and I didn't do it casually. But I had to save as many people as I could. Ash gave her life for the rest of the team. Without her, I couldn't have stopped Saren. She died a hero.
I understand, Commander, and I wasn't judging your decision. Everybody at Cerberus knows that cloning facility had to be destroyed.
There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough with the quizzes. The memories are there, and I can vouch for Shepard's combat skills personally.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the elusive man accepts our little field test as evidence enough.
This episode is pretty much getting done with a lot of the very early game stuff. We're going to go talk to the elusive man
The
now.
elusive man is waiting for you in the other room.
Actually, before we do that, I want to just do a quick customization, deal with this real fast. I like the look of that one. Yeah, I like the look of that one. I am not going to wear the Cerberus Assault Armor because it gives me a few bonuses, but once again, I don't like Cerberus. And it's only by 10% on anything, which isn't really much. I am going to use the N7 helmet because it looks the coolest, and it gives me the exact same boost as the Breather helmet. Just very quickly, the material is going to be this. Tint 1 is going to be dark black. Tint 2 is going to just be a nice, let's go with a kind of goldish color. Orange, I guess technically. Nah, I like that one. The pattern is going to be that. It's going to be dark though. It's going to be a soft red. And we're going to apply that. Just because I feel like doing that right now. we won't be doing too much of that in the game. Kind of want to get to, you know, playing the game itself, but I wanted to take care of that real fast. And we are meeting the elusive man, the head of Cerberus, cigar smoker, and man of cyborg eyes.
Commander Shepard.
Elusive man. I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
Unnecessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
And what is it that we know?
What exactly is it that you and I know?
That our place in the universe is more fragile than we'd like to think. That one man, one very specific man, might be all that stands between humanity and the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The Reapers.
Good to see your memory's still intact. How are you feeling?
Let's skip the pleasantries. Or perhaps I wanted to say you're not my friend. Nah, let's skip the
Cut to the
pleasantries.
chase. What are the Reapers doing that made you decide to bring me back?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. While you've been sleeping, entire colonies have been disappearing. Human colonies. We believe it's someone working for the Reapers, just as Saren and Geth aided Sovereign. You've
Who
seen
was a
it
Reaper?
yourself. You bested all of them. That's just one reason we chose you.
And you're going to need to convince me a little more because Cerberus
Nothing you
is
say
full
is
of
gonna
jerks.
convince me to trust you. I need more than words.
I'd be disappointed if I could persuade you that easily. Go and see for yourself.
We're going
I have
to
a shuttle
Freedom
ready to take you to
Progress.
Freedom's Progress, the latest colony to be abducted. Miranda and Jacob will brief you.
Is this a volunteer job or am I being volunteered?
You always have a choice, Shepard. If you don't find the evidence we're both looking for, we can part ways.
So
But first, go to Freedom's Progress. Find any clues you can.
that's the thing about this Mass Effect 2. No matter what, you have to listen to the elusive man. The idea is that, like, ultimately you choose to listen to him, but because it's a game you don't actually get the choice. That's beside the point, though. I personally like to pick any of the answers that chafe under the elusive man's command because they're the most fun. So before we go on, I'm going to apply a level up point to myself, and I am going to put it into the disruptor ammo because that unlocks cryo ammo. So next level, I'm getting cryo ammo. And since we're here, I'm going to save. Just doing that real fast. Alright. And I'm going to just talk to
The elusive man is very
Miranda.
impressed with you. I'm eager to see if you can live up to his expectations on this mission.
Just
I
remember
can't
the
have anyone disobeying my commands when we get there.
I know who I report to. As long as you don't do anything to betray Cerberus, I'll follow your orders.
As long as you don't do anything to protect Cerberus. I really don't like her.
Don't worry. We'll find out what happened to those colonists.
Neutral choice
Well, at
is the
least
best
you're
one.
confident. Let's hope it's not misplaced.
For someone who spent 2 years putting me back together, you don't seem real fond of me.
As I
have
said,
the utmost
not a
respect
fan
for
of
your abilities,
Miranda.
Shepard. It's your motivations that concern me. I believe in what Cerberus stands for. Only time will tell if you prove to be an asset or a liability to our cause.
Whatever.
It's obvious you're not interested in talking.
We've got an assignment. We can talk about it or we can do it.
I'm gonna talk to Jacob since I'm here.
I'm glad the elusive man convinced you to join us, Commander.
I didn't join. Those colonists need my help.
I just want to find out what happened to those missing people. I still don't trust Cerberus.
I mean, Shepard as a whole doesn't
Noted.
trust
Do you
Cerberus
trust me,
anyway.
Commander?
Not sure yet.
I haven't made up my mind about you yet.
At least you're giving me a chance. Most Alliance soldiers hate Cerberus on principle.
Jacob's a cool guy. As time goes, you learn from his loyalty mission. You learn that he's actually ex-Alliance, which helps.
That's all for now.
Right, one
Yes,
of the stock leaving lines. I'm going to be very much middle of the road, which will not help when it comes to persuasion. But I'm going to try to be playing this game naturally with a touch more renegade than I normally could, which does ruin a lot of my chances when it comes to high level persuasions.
We should be there shortly, Shepard.
But
The elusive man put us under your
That's
command.
how it goes,
Do you
though.
have any orders?
Priority,
Our
saving
first
people.
priority is to look for survivors.
That's unlikely, Commander. No one was left at the other colonies. They were completely deserted.
Oh, how
Be
wrong
nice
you
to
are.
find somebody. Anything's better than another ghost town.
Alright, so Freedom's Progress, as mentioned, is a human colony in what is known as the Terminus systems, which are outside the, outside Citadel space, as it's called, which is pretty much the galactic alliance between all the different species. Terminus systems lie outside their command, which is why it's highly recommended that you don't set up colonies there. Just going to quickly double check around here. Yes, finally. Alright, I have my full weapons. I'm going to do this so I can quickly switch between the two. There we go. Actually, I'm going to need to set armor piercing. We are going to be dealing with Ymir mechs. They're giant mechs. So I'm really happy I have that armor piercing round.
Looks like everyone just got up and left right in the middle of dinner.
Actually, I'm going to switch my weapon back. So the thing about Mass Effect 1 was that the snipers were absolute trash in the game.
No bodies, no structural damage.
Or really bad. Which is disappointing, because, as I said, I'm a fan of the sniper rifle when it comes to games. But, what can you do? So that's why I'm really happy that the Infiltrator class got a bit of a boost in this game.
Target down! Gotta hurt! Go right!
It's interesting that all of the mechs are named after things in Norse mythology of all the choices. Most people choose Greek mythology. Loki mechs named after the god of trickery. We have the Fenris like attack dogs. What the hell? Alright. I do not. That is embarrassing. That is so very embarrassing. Alright, we are going to resume the game. Like I said, not the best gamer. Playing this on a harder difficulty than I normally play on as well, but that's no excuse. I'm just talking myself into a hole right now. Anyway, back to the game. So we're going to be dealing with the loading screen, blah blah blah. Alright, and we are back. All the way out here. First battle. I need my cryo ammo. I really miss my cryo ammo. Let's shift to my sniper rifle. There we go. That was much better.
Here we go.
On target!
Shoot them before they take out the shield.
No, I don't want the sniper rifle right now. Boom, headshot.
Mech shouldn't be hostile. They should have recognized us as human.
Someone reprogrammed them to attack on sight. We're not alone here.
And for those of you who have not ever played a Mass Effect game before, we are soon going to get your introduction to Tali. Tali is a Quarian. Quarians are a species that have to maintain an environmental suit because their species... It's actually a lot of long history that takes I could spend a long time talking about it. The lore in Mass Effect is insane. There's a lot of it.
Attention right!
I'm actually going to fall back in here. Going to steal your spot. Alright. Done. Yeah. So as I was saying, the lore in this game is really intense. These are Quarians wearing full body suits. We never actually see what a Quarian looks like.
Shepard?
Kind of. Don't see. long story.
Those weapons down.
So we don't actually know what Quarians look like under their full armor suit.
You're alive?
Cerberus rebuilt me, Tally. In return, they asked me to investigate these attacks on human colonies.
You'll pardon us for not taking you at your word, Cerberus.
We're well within our rights to investigate attacks on a human colony. I'd like to know what the Quarians are doing here.
Weapons down, Praza. Whatever's going on here, I don't think we need another fight. One of our people was here on pilgrimage. His name was Vitor. We came to find him.
Alright, and I'm going to ask why
Isn't that a little
Vitor's here.
strange? A Quarian visiting a remote human colony?
Quarians can choose where they go on pilgrimage.
Which is true,
Vitor
yeah.
liked the idea of helping a small settlement.
So
He
this
was
whole
always
pilgrimage thing is a
north
big
of
thing in
Cloud.
Quarian culture.
Which means that he was
In the
unstable.
first game, Tali was actually on her own pilgrimage.
An infection from an open-air exposure, and he's likely delirious.
Yeah, so they need
When
the
he
suits to
saw us
survive
landing,
because
he
their
hid in a
immune
warehouse on
systems
the
are
far side of town.
really,
We
really
suspect he
weak.
also programmed the mechs to attack anything that moved.
Vitor's the only one who can tell us what happened here. We should work together to find him.
Good idea.
There.
You'll need two
So-
teams to get past the drones anyway.
This Freedom's Progress is a long
No,
game,
Praza, you're working for me. If you can't follow orders, go wait on the ship.
or it's a long
Head for the
mission,
warehouse
Freedom's
in the
Progress.
center of the colony. We'll circle around
but-
the far side and
So
draw off
after
with
this
the
mission,
drones to
we
clear
will
you a
get
path.
the Normandy SR2. A beautiful ship. SR2 is my baby. I love that ship. Alright, we're
Make
gonna
sure
go with
to
that.
keep in radio contact.
Will do. Good luck, Shepard. See you on the far side.
Alright, so we are going to find Vitor, who is a Quarian,
Be careful.
and actually kind of insane.
Drones up ahead.
Thanks for the warning. We'll take care of them.
Yep, I saw them over there. I'm going to get as much money as I can throughout the game, so I'm going to be...
They've seen us.
I don't know if they add any enemies to... Boom. And done. 2,000 more credits. Excellent. Alright. And
Use overload on it.
I have disruptor ammo, which is nice.
Enemy down.
Disruptor ammo is excellent ammo for dealing with shields.
Target down. Shotgun.
There we go.
Down. Shotgun.
That's the best part about Mass
Praza
Effect.
and his squad rushed on ahead. I told them to wait, but they wouldn't listen. Want
Idiots.
to find Vitor and take him away before you get here.
We should have expected this.
Come on.
Maybe we
Still
should
catch
have, but nevertheless. Current objective. I have left ship map to be something else, so that doesn't work for me. That's actually one of my powers. Incinerate is my left shift button. And down there we will be dealing with a Ymir mech, so I'll leave the disruptor ammo on for now. But then after it shields, it's going to have armor. There we go, done. I'm going to grab some ammo.
Enemy down. Sorry, Shepard. We're inside the loading docks. Vitor reprogrammed the heavy mech. It's tearing Praza's squad apart.
They did want to get to Vitor first.
Get your squad into cover and I'll open the loading
I just need to
We'll
grab a
take
little
cover
bit more
by the
ammo.
doors. Shepard, you take point.
I need ammo. Alright, I'm good on ammo now. Let's see. 1256, yeah. I don't have the full 60 shots, but...
Take point, Shepard. We'll cover the door. Right!
And E. I don't actually use the squad commands much because they're very good at moving themselves into cover and whatnot. The AI in this game is very good when it comes to your allies. Tali's an engineering class, so as much as I like Tali and her character, I probably won't be using her much. My main team will probably consist of Grunt and Samara because they have biotics and Grunt's a tank. I'll try to mix it up though. I'll try to use as many characters as possible. Except for Miranda Lawson. I can't use her. I really don't like her.
Overlord will take out their shields.
Yeah. Your overload is useless, Miranda Lawson. Oh, come on, you dead? Alright, now I have armor-piercing ammo to make use of. I'm actually going to switch to my sniper rifle for this. Even though it's really close range. Because the sniper rifle is powerful. And it's dead. Okay. Done. Switching weapons again. I'll remain on armor piercing. Checking for ammo and whatnot. Sometimes it just hides. Normally it's just dropped. But sometimes it likes to hide. And up in here, if you so chose, there were a bunch of power cells, so I could have used the grenade launcher. Full ammo, wall safe, so this is going to be down here. This, it's going to be this one. Come on. These two are going to connect. And there we go. Alright. Ooh, refined iridium. First we're going to scan this. Heavy weapon ammo boost. And 2,000 iridium. So there are 4 different resources outside of money that you can collect in this game. They are platinum, palladium, iridium, and EZO, or element 0 as it's more properly called. But each of them is used for different upgrades, and I will be fully upgrading the Normandy so that the ship survives the suicide mission, because that's important, because I love the Normandy too.
This is your chance to go find Vitor while I tend to the wounded, Shepard. He's probably somewhere in the back of the loading.
Yeah, I know where it was. But yeah, so that's going to happen. EZO is just weird. Don't worry about it.
Mechs will protect. Safe from swarms. Have to hide. No monsters. No swarms. No.
Alright, so what's coming up is going to be an interrupt. Paragon and Renegade interrupts are very useful things. They're fun little things that happen. Shepard pretty much cuts people off by doing stuff.
Nobody's gonna hurt you anymore.
I'm going to be making use of all the interrupts. This is going to be a Paragon interrupt. Paragon, once again, is the more Boy Scout. Superman versus Batman is a good way to think of it. Paragon and Renegade.
You're human. Where did you hide? How come they didn't find you?
Who didn't find us?
We weren't there.
The monsters. The swarms. They took everyone.
I'm just going to tell him to
Why
tell us
didn't the
what happened.
colonists fight back, Vitor? What happened?
You don't know. You didn't see.
Well,
But
yeah, I
see
didn't see.
everything.
So once again, once we get the Normandy, I think I'm going to call it. We're almost done.
What the hell is that?
That is a collector.
My god. I think it's a collector.
I thought the collectors kept to themselves.
They usually work through intermediaries, like slavers or hired mercenaries.
Collectors
If they're involved with the
are...
Reapers somehow, it could explain what happened to the colonies.
Up to this point, at least, collectors were known as these mysterious species who kept to themselves and disappeared beyond one of the mass relays. Not much was known about them.
Secret swarms. No one can
We're
hide.
going to learn a lot
The
more
Seekers find
about
you,
the
free you,
collectors throughout the course of
and
this
the
game.
monsters take you away.
What happened next?
The monsters took the people onto the ship, and then they left. The ship flew away. But they'll be back for me.
No, they
No
won't.
one
They're not
escapes.
targeting Quarians. They're targeting humans. And you'll find out why later in the game. Much, much later.
We appreciate what you told us. You were very helpful.
I studied them. The monsters. The swarms. I recorded them with my Omni tool. Lots of readings. Electromagnetic. Dark energy.
We need to get this data to the elusive man. Grab the Quarian and call the shuttle to come pick us up.
Nope.
What? Vitor is injured. He needs treatment, not an interrogation.
I concur.
We won't hurt him. We just need to see if he knows anything else. He'll be returned unharmed.
Your people tried to betray us once already. If we give him to you, we'll never get the intel we need.
Raza was an idiot, and he and his men paid for it. You're welcome to take Vitor's Omnitool data, but please, just let me take him.
I'm going to say Vitor goes with Tali.
He's traumatized and he needs medical care. Tally will give us the Omnitool data and take him to the flotilla.
Tally, not Tali. I'm sorry.
Understood, Commander.
I had a friend named
I'm glad
who
you're
was
still the one
Tali,
who
not
did the
Tally.
orders. Good luck out there.
So that's
If
what I
find
tend to
anything
use.
that can help you, I'll let you know.
We're ready for pickup.
And dun-na-na-na, dun-na-na-na.
Shepard, good work on Freedom's progress. The Quarians forwarded their findings from Vitor's debriefing. No new data, but it's a surprising olive branch given our history. You and I have different methods, but I
Perhaps,
can't argue with
but
your results.
ultimately it's because I'm the one dealing with them, not you, not Cerberus, but me, Shepard.
Do you ever think about playing nice once in a while?
Diplomacy is great when it works, but difficult when everyone already perceives you as a threat. But more importantly,
Yeah, and whose fault is that, Cerberus?
The abductions.
Why do I get the feeling you knew about them already?
I had my suspicions, but I needed proof. The collectors are enigmatic at best. They periodically travel to the terminus systems, looking to gather seemingly unimportant items or specimens, usually in exchange for their technology. When their transactions are complete, they disappear as quickly as
That's
they
a
arrive.
curious little piece of
Back
info
beyond
that'll
the
come up.
unmapped Omega-4 relay.
Could be very
Until
interesting
now,
later in the
we've
game.
had no evidence of direct aggression by the collectors.
And what exactly aren't you telling me?
You're holding something back. How do you know the Reapers are involved?
The patterns are there, buried in the data. The Council and the Alliance want to believe the Reaper threat died with Sovereign. You and I know better. I won't wait
Not
until
the whole
Reapers are
council.
on the march. We need to take the
Anderson's
fight
on our
together.
side. I'm going to need a team. I'm not going to say we take the fight to them because taking the fight to a more powerful enemy is, in my opinion, a terrible idea.
If this is a war, I'll need an army. Or a really good team.
I've already compiled a list of soldiers, scientists, and mercenaries. You'll get dossiers on the best of them. Finding them and convincing them to work with you could be challenging, but you're a natural leader.
Yes.
I'll continue to track the collectors. When they make their next appearance, I'll notify you and your team. Be ready.
So, I had a good team.
Keep your list. I want people I trust. The ones who helped me stop Saren at the Geth.
Natural
That was
response,
2
I would
years
think.
ago, Commander. Most of them have moved on, or their allegiances have changed.
I could ask about all of them, but I'll just tell you what's going on with each of them. Caden went back into the Alliance. He's promoted, and the mission he's on is currently classified. Rex is now on Tachanka as the leader of the Erdnot clan. We saw Tali. I didn't ask her to join us because there was no point to it. She's going to refuse it. Liara is working as an information broker on Ilium, and the elusive man doesn't know where Garrus is, something he doesn't know. That's always interesting. We are actually going to recruit Garrus. He's probably going to be the second recruit after Zaid. Zaid's just an easy recruit. I talked to him and he's recruited. So I'm not even going to ask about any of them. There you go, quick rundown.
Okay, I get it. They're not available.
You're a leader, Shepard. You'll get who you need.
Yeah, we'll be ready
Don't
for
worry
it.
about the collectors. I'll make sure my team's ready.
Good. Two things before you go.
There's always something
First,
else.
Head to Omega and find Morden Solus.
The team.
He's a brilliant Solarian scientist. Our intelligence suggests he may
And a
know
singer.
how to counteract the collector's paralyzing seeker swarms.
And the second thing.
Sounds good. What else?
I found a pilot I think you might like. I hear he's one of the best.
Joker. Good old Jeff Moreau.
Hey, Commander. Just like old times, huh?
I can't believe it's you, Joker.
Look who's talking. I saw you get spaced.
Got lucky with a lot of strings attached. How'd you
One
get
way to put it.
It all fell apart without you, Commander. Everything you stirred up, the Council just wanted it gone. The team was broken
Of
up,
course.
record sealed, and I was grounded. The Alliance took away the one thing that mattered to me. Hell yeah, I joined Cerberus.
You really trust the elusive man?
No.
Well, I don't trust anyone who makes more than I do. But they aren't all bad. Saved your life, let me fly, and there's this.
The SR2. My little baby, the Normandy. Yeah. I love this ship. I prefer the SR2 to the original Alliance Normandy SR1. I mean, they're pretty much identical ships, but I prefer the SR2 after they painted over so that they remove Cerberus's colors, but that's beside the point.
It's good to be home, huh, Commander?
Guess we'll have to give her a name.
If I had to choose between this and the Millennium Falcon, I'd choose the Normandy. And I really love Star Wars, so that says something about this ship. It's got stealth tech, it flies fast. And it just looks cool. That's a sleek design. And liftoff. Well, I guess not liftoff because we're already in space. I'm going to just hand wave a lot of the physics as one does. We are getting... So I'm going to get the... I'm going to upgrade, get the cryo ammo, deal with all of this cutscene stuff, and then I think we'll call it at that. Because this episode has been an hour and 51 minutes. Hour 50 minutes. No, not an hour 50 minutes. Hour 20 minutes. What am I saying? Yeah. And it looks pretty much the same on the inside, at least this area. Once again, a mostly human crew. Actually, at this point, an entirely human crew.
Welcome aboard the new Normandy, Commander.
I've been looking over the dossiers. I'd strongly recommend starting by acquiring Morden Solus, the Solarian professor on Omega. We know the collectors
I mean,
use some
I'd
kind of
concur with that
advanced
statement if I
technology
didn't
to
already have
mobilize their
engineering
victims.
powers.
We'll need him to develop a countermeasure to protect us.
I'm just gonna agree with her.
Without that countermeasure, we'll be helpless if we ever run into the collectors.
That makes sense.
Acquiring Professor Solus seems like the most logical place to start.
Who are you?
My ship has a voice.
Artificial intelligence. The crew like to refer to me as Edie.
Joker won't like this. Oh, that's so
Helmsmen aren't
funny.
happy when someone takes control of a ship away from them. Especially Joker.
I do not helm the ship. Mr. Master Moreau's talents will not go to waste.
I
During
love
combat,
listening
I
to
operate
Joker
the
complain
electronic
about
warfare
Edie.
and cyber warfare suites.
And then, of course,
Beyond that,
as time
I
goes,
cannot
Edie
interface
becomes a
with
more
ship
interesting
systems.
character.
I observe and offer analysis
Not
and
VI,
advice.
character.
Nothing more.
Anyone else I should meet?
I'm guessing it takes more than just the three of us plus Joker to fly this ship.
The Normandy has a full crew. They're at their stations awaiting your orders.
Final preparations for takeoff are complete, Commander. When you're ready to go, just pick a destination from the galaxy map and the CIC and I'll plot a course.
Jacob and I should
The
return to our posts.
world map,
Come find
essentially.
us if you
Galactic
have any
map.
questions.
Alright. So, yeah. Alright. Galaxy map, pick new destination for the Normandy. Prep terminal, get status updates. You get emails there. You actually get spam mail, which I think is hilarious. Mildly irritating, but hilarious nonetheless. Yeah. Like, what was it? I got essentially the galactic equivalent of mail from the Nigerian prince who's willing to give me a whole bunch of element 0 in return for credits instead of gold for cash. Which is incredibly funny, and you can't reply to any of your emails anyway. But, yeah, that happens. Alright, so we are going to squad, cryo ammo boost, and I'm going to get the first of the operative ranks. So these are all full. So now I have the cryo ammo, the tactical cloak, armor piercing, and disruptor. Next I'm going to get incinerate, because incinerate is incredibly useful as time goes on. I'll actually have a lot of stuff to deal with. This is shields, armor. Incinerate is very good against armor and unarmored. And cryo freezes anything that's not shielded. It can freeze things that have armor, though. So yeah, that's all useful. And I am very clearly more Paragon right now. So these are the Paragon and Renegade bars. So most of the decisions that are made are not made based on how much of the bar is full, but the percentage comparison between Paragon and Renegade, which I find really nice. So instead of deciding that, oh, I need to be past this bar to make a certain decision with a Paragon boost, it is, I am here with Paragon and here with Renegade. I have enough percentage of my total points as Paragon, which means that I can do it. Or if I have Paragon here and Renegade here, oh, well, that's not enough for the total percentage as Paragon. I can't make that choice. So I like how that worked. Alright. So I'm going to save one more time. And thank you, everyone, for joining me on this very first episode of my playthrough of Mass Effect. Yeah, I have them here on Twitch. I'm probably going to be posting them on YouTube as well, so I have a way to save and compile them all. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me. Do I need some sort of stupid outro thing? Yeah, I guess why not. Keep being awesome.